Cleveland.
Teams from Cleveland Heights, Our Lady of the Elms, and Wickliffe compete on the Nordson Academic Challenge. Yeah. All righty, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us as we celebrate the 54th season of the Nordson Academic Challenge. I'm your host, Rob Powers. The challenge this morning is the same as it's always been. 3 local high school teams compete for points by answering questions in math, science, history, a few other topics as well. Let's hear it again today for our teams. Our 3 teams, Cleveland Heights, Our Lady of the Elms, and Wickliffe. Each team playing for a chance to make it to our leaderboard. And at the end of the season, the top 3 teams will be back to play in our championship game with a $6,000 grant from Nordson on the line. So let's get everything started. We get it started with the lightning round. All 3 teams compete in this round. We award 20 points for a correct answer. We subtract 20 points for an incorrect or no answer. Let's start this match with 100 points for every team. All ready? All set? The audience may start hissing now because these questions are all about fictional villains. See if you can identify the following. This pirate captain threatened Peter Pan. Cleveland Heights.
Captain Hook.
That is correct. This Shakespeare villain drives Othello mad with jealousy. Cleveland Heights.
Iago.
That is correct. Mordor is the stronghold of this Dark Lord. Cleveland Heights.
Sauron.
That is correct. Dr. No is a villain bested by this British secret.
James
Cleveland
Bond.
Heights.
James Bond.
That is correct. She turns people into pigs in Homer's Odyssey. Cleveland Heights.
Cersei.
That is correct. Called He Who Must Not Be Named. Wickliffe.
Voldemort.
That is correct. This cruel overseer is the villain in Uncle Tom's Cabin. Answer? Cleveland Heights.
Simon.
Simon Legree, yes it is. This sheriff is the villain in the Robin Hood stories. Cleveland Heights.
The Sheriff of Nottingham.
That is correct. This big bad animal threatened the 3 pigs. Wickliffe.
The wolf.
That is correct. And for our final lightning round question, we go to the Cleveland Playhouse. Here is Joshua McElroy.
Spies, blackmail, and laughter take over the Cleveland Playhouse stage starting April 29th with Ken Ludwig's new play. It features the villainous Professor Moriarty, longtime adversary of what fictional British detective?
Cleveland Heights.
Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes is right. That's the end of that round. All right, it was a good one, too. We'll be back with more of the Nordson Academic Challenge right after this.
Nordson is honored to sponsor a program that celebrates academic excellence. We're a global industrial technology company with a long and proud history of giving back to the communities where we live and work. We donate 5% of our U.S. pre-tax profits to charity every year. Over the past 30 years, the Nordson Corporation Foundation has donated more than $100 million, and our employees have volunteered more than 100,000 hours. And now, we're pleased to support the legacy of Academic Challenge. Thank you all for watching, and the best of luck to all the participants.
Welcome back to the Nordson Academic Challenge. If you'd like more information about any of the schools that appear this season, scan that QR code you see on the upper right-hand corner of your screen with your cell phone. That code will take you to the news5cleveland.com Academic Challenge page. We've got links for all of the schools that appear on this year's season. All right, time to play the Hot Picks round now. One at a time, I ask each team 8 questions. A correct response here is worth 20 points. There's no penalty here for a wrong answer. Any team answering all 8 questions correctly will receive 25 bonus points. Before we get to the questions, let's meet our teams. Let's start with Cleveland Heights. Hi, Natalie, you're the captain.
Hi, my name is Natalie. I'm a junior. I'm in drama club and stage crew, and I play tennis. And my favorite class this year is AP Language because Mrs. White makes it so fun.
There you go. Thanks, Natalie. Hi, Arthur.
Hi, I'm Arthur. I'm a senior. I play French horn in the school band, and I plan on majoring in history, and I'm probably attending OSU next year.
Awesome. Good luck with that. Good luck today. Hi, Nico.
Hello, my name is Nico. I'm a junior. I'm GSA president in SASC, and I play soccer. And I'd love to give a special shout out to my 3rd grade teacher, Miss Bradley, who said if we make it on TV, to shout her out.
Way to go, Miss Bradley. Way to go. All right, for your questions, Cleveland Heights, we go to Magnolia, Our Lady of the Elms. Envelope 1, 2, 3, or 4?
4.
Number 4. Okay. Cleveland Heights, these questions just for you. All set? Here we go. The world's largest living organism is a single underwater plant that covers 77 square miles under Shark Bay in what smallest continent?
Australia.
That is correct. Hera and Athena were the runners-up in a mythical beauty contest won by what classical goddess of beauty?
Aphrodite.
That is correct. Just north of the White House is a park named for what French marquis who aided Americans in the Revolutionary War?
Lafayette.
That is correct. Let's go to the monitor. Here is your science question. Which of these is not classified as a protozoan?
Algae.
That is correct. France is noted for its wines and for a royal dynasty that had what same name as a more powerful alcoholic drink?
Bourbon.
That is correct. One attorney who would have had no trouble passing the bar exam was Atticus Finch, a heroic character in what 1960 novel by Harper Lee?
To Kill a Mockingbird.
That is correct. Back to the monitor. Here's your math question. We ask you to evaluate this expression, giving your answer as an integer.
4,000.
That was quick, and that was right, and that was big. This is for the bonus points. Every man has his price was the cynical comment of Mark Hanna, campaign manager for what 25th president assassinated in 1901?
Garfield.
Oh, no. William McKinley is the answer there, but nice round, Cleveland Heights. Way to go.
Good job.
All righty. Our second team today comes to us from Our Lady of the Elms in Akron. Magnolia, Maggie, welcome. Tell us about yourself.
Hi, I'm Maggie. I'm a junior, and I'm captain of the swim team. And I'd like to give a shout out to our former advisor, Ms. Stoneberg. We miss you so much.
Awesome. Hi, Jamie. Welcome.
Hello, I'm Jamie. I'm a junior at Our Lady of the Elms. I'm a member of the swim team and the drama club. That's it. Yeah.
That's fine. That's great. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I'm part of FAST at the Elms, and outside of school, I learn dance.
Cool. Well, welcome this morning. Good luck to you as well. For your questions, we go to Antonio, the captain of Wickliffe. Envelope 1, 2, or 3?
1.
1. All right. Our Lady of the Elms, remember, these are just for you. All set? Here we go. In 2007, a 52-year-old man braved crocodiles, piranha, and sunstroke to swim the length of what longest South American river?
The Amazon?
That is correct. Because Winston Churchill did not admire political opponent Stanley Baldwin, Churchill gave the name Baldwins to what least valuable chess pieces?
Pawns?
That is correct. In 1805, the Pacific Ocean was reached by what pair of explorers assigned to investigate the territory gained through the Louisiana Purchase?
Lewis and Clark?
That is correct. Let's go to the monitor. Here's your science question. In 1909, Thomas Hunt Morgan began his genetic experiments using which of these insects?
Fruit flies?
That is correct. In his 1933 novel, Lost Horizon, James Hilton wrote about Shangri-La, a land of eternal youth located in what region, then ruled by the Dalai Lama?
Tibet?
Tibet is correct. A nameless man had a hard time in To Build a Fire, a short story by what author who heated up the literary world with The Call of the Wild?
Jack London?
That is correct. Back to the monitor. Here's your math question. This expression is equal to what integer?
Three?
3 is correct. That was big. This is for the bonus points. People were shocked when Congress passed its first billion-dollar budget during the administration of what 23rd president? Answer?
No answer.
Benjamin Harrison is the answer, but again, good round there, Our Lady of the Elms. Way to go. And finally, our third team today is from Wickliffe. Antonio, you are our captain. What do we need to know about Antonio?
Hello, I'm Antonio. I'm a 4-year member of the Academic Challenge team. I'm part of the swing band. I do the tech crew for our school play, and as well, I'm treasurer of the National Honor Society at our school.
Awesome. Welcome. Hi, Ella.
Hi, I'm Ella. I'm a junior in high school. I am captain of our swim team, and I am also a part of our swing band and jazz band.
Awesome. Cool. All right, Ruth, welcome.
Hi, I'm Ruth. I'm a member of the swing band and jazz band. I am a member of NHS, and I'm also in our school play.
Wickliffe High School, welcome to all three of you. For your questions, we come back to Natalie, the captain at Cleveland Heights. Envelope 2 or 3?
3.
3. Okay. Here we go. Wickliffe, just for you. Set. Patriotic songwriter George M. Cohan claimed as his birthday what summer date that we celebrate as Independence Day?
July 4th.
Yes, he was born on the 4th of July, sometimes called the Pork and Beans War. The Aroostook War was a border dispute involving the region that is now what northernmost New England state?
Maine.
Is correct. Thanks to their long legs, what tallest mammal can reach speeds of 35 miles per hour in short distances and cruise along at 10 miles per hour on longer runs?
Giraffe.
Giraffe is correct. Let's go to the monitor. Here's your science question. Which of these is a substance capable of forming or inducing the formation of antibodies when introduced into the bloodstream?
Antigen.
That is correct. Some people complain because they have too much to do, but what ancient leader from Macedon cried because he had no more worlds to conquer?
Alexander the Great.
That is correct. On the planet Mars, there are some planes named for what ideal society? The title's a book by Sir Thomas More.
Utopia.
That is correct. Back to the monitor. Here is your math question. Simplify this expression, giving your answer as a positive integer. Answer?
60.
60 is correct. That was big. This is for the bonus points. When presidential candidate Horace Greeley used the slogan, "Turn the rascals out," he was referring to the rascals in the administration of what 18th president? Answer?
No answer.
Ulysses S. Grant. But a good round there, Wickliffe. A good round for all three of our teams. And we'll be back with more academic excitement right after this. Today's judge from Cuyahoga Community College, the Assistant Dean of Counseling, it's Kate Boddicker for a second year in a row. Kate, thanks for being here this morning. Great to see you again. We welcome you back to the Nordson Academic Challenge. Before we continue with our next round, let's take a look at the scores so far. In third place with 240 points, Our Lady of the Elms. In second place, 280 points, Wickliffe. Leading the way with 400 points, the team from Cleveland Heights. But hold on, it's time to go head-to-head once again. This is our picture-perfect round. Each correct answer here is worth 20 points. For a wrong answer or no answer, we take away 20 points. This is for all three teams. Hands on the buzzer, eyes on the big monitor. All set? Here we go. The green on this flag now represents the rainforest, which covers 1/3 of the land area in what largest South American Cleveland Heights?
Brazil.
That is correct. The cassowary, a vicious bird known to kill people who get in its way, is found primarily on what Pacific island where Papua is located? Cleveland Heights.
New Guinea.
That is correct. President Obama is holding a koala, an animal belonging to what order of mammal that carry Cleveland Heights?
Marsupials.
That is correct. Evaluate this expression, giving your answer Cleveland
18.
Heights.
18.
18 is correct. This is what abolitionist who refused Cleveland Heights?
John Brown.
That is correct. This was the comment of what 20th century American composer who wrote Rhapsody in Blue? Cleveland Heights.
Gershwin.
That is correct. These bridges span the Vltava River in what capital city of the Czech Republic? Cleveland Heights.
Prague.
Prague is correct. Cleveland Magazine celebrates our city's winter events in this issue, but Cleveland cannot lay claim to the largest winter carnival in the world, held annually in which Canadian province where French is the only official language? Wickliffe.
Quebec.
Quebec is correct. Oh, that's a nice round. Now don't go anywhere. Our exciting grab bag round to help determine today's winner is still coming up. After, of course, we mix it up. Stick around.
Go places.
Alrighty, welcome back. Here are our advisors for today. From Cleveland Heights, it's Carl Neitzel. From Our Lady of the Elms, Jim Brown and Vince Glidden are here. And from Wickliffe, it's Catherine Belletti. Thank you so much for being here and for bringing the kids most of all. All right, time now to mix it up. One at a time, I ask each team 6 questions. A correct response here is worth 20 points. There's no penalty for a wrong answer. Any team answering all 6 questions correctly in this round will receive 25 bonus points. First up, Cleveland Heights. All set? Here we go. These are just for you. Look closely at this mural. See if you can find the name of what bone, also referred to as the thigh bone.
Femur.
That is correct. If I were to give you a stipend, I'd be giving you which of these?
A salary.
That is correct. A newspaper columnist was being sarcastic when he wrote this phrase, which you can complete by adding what metallic alloy of copper and zinc?
Brass.
That is correct. You don't have to make a speech. Just rearrange these letters to name what Canadian province that shares its name with one of the Great Lakes.
Ontario.
That is correct. If you rearrange these states in order of their population, beginning with the smallest.
Wyoming, Michigan, California.
That is correct, and that was big. This is for the bonus points. Shakespeare does not ask this question in one of his plays, but in what type of poem that contains 14 lines?
A sonnet.
A sonnet is correct for the bonus point. There you go. All right. Our Lady of the Elms, it's that easy. All set? Here we go. This phrase may suggest baseball, but see if you can find hidden here the name of what chemical element whose symbol is CS.
Cesium.
That is correct. A person who is touchy and irritable may best be described by which of these adjectives?
Petulant.
That is correct. To complete this bit of cynicism from one writer, add what honest quality that goes marching on in the battle hymn of the Republic?
Trust.
Truth. Truth goes marching on. You don't want to hiss the do. Rearrange these letters to name what language spoken in Stockholm.
Swedish.
That is correct. These three men had little in common except that they all died in July. Arrange them in correct chronological order.
Bach, Nicholas, Alan Shepard.
That is correct. These strong words come from what American whose most popular novel is The Great Gatsby?
Fitzgerald.
F. Scott Fitzgerald is correct. Way to go, Our Lady of the Elms. All righty. Wickliffe, you're up. All set? These are just for you. Table manners are important, but if you study this phrase, you'll find hidden within it what triangular alluvial deposit at the mouth of a river?
Delta.
That is correct. In ancient battles, which of these was a machine used to hurl stones?
Catapult.
That is correct. You can complete this quote from an English lord by adding what type of popular government that appears in the title of de Tocqueville's work about America.
Democracy.
That is correct. You will get a safe 20 points if you can rearrange this anagram to name what 19th century pioneer trail named for the capital city of New Mexico.
Santa Fe.
That is correct. You can find all three of these women in history books. Arrange them in chronological order.
Sotomayor, Ross, Truth.
Ross, Truth, Sotomayor. Sorry. Poet Henry Wadsworth Longfellow used these words to describe what English poet who wrote the Canterbury Tales? Answer?
Shakespeare.
Geoffrey Chaucer is the answer, but good round, Wickliffe. Good round to all three teams. That's the end of that round, but hold on. We'll be back with our final and deciding grab bag round right after this.
Slower.
Welcome back to the Nordson Academic Challenge. Before we continue, let's recap the scores so far. In third place with 340 points, Our Lady of the Elms. In second place with 380 points, the team from Wickliffe. Leading the way right now with 685 points is the team from Cleveland Heights. But hold on. Time now for the grab bag round. In this free-for-all, each correct answer is worth 30 points. We will take away 30 points for a wrong or no answer. Again, this is for all three teams. Hands on the buzzer, eyes on the monitor when we need it. All set? This is it. Its face, though worn and broken, is mild, wrote one visitor about what huge stone statue that the ancient Egyptians built near the Great Pyramids, Cleveland Heights.
The Sphinx.
That is correct. A 40th wedding anniversary is associated with what gemstone that names the magic slippers in The Wizard of Oz? Heights.
Ruby.
That is correct. Frogs, toads, and salamanders are all members of what same class of cold-blooded vertebrates? Cleveland Heights.
Amphibians.
That is correct. This is the flag of what small country located in the Pyrenees between France, Cleveland Heights? Answer.
Andorra.
Andorra is correct. It was clear sailing when Connecticut selected as its official state ship what first nuclear submarine? Answer is the Nautilus. What is the greatest number of points at which a circle and a non-circular ellipse may intersect? Our Lady of the Elms.
1.
4 is the answer. 4. The largest island off the west coast of North America has what same name as British Columbia's largest city? Cleveland Heights.
Vancouver.
That is correct. This advice about baseball comes from what Ernest Hemingway novel in which an elderly man named Santiago goes fishing? Cleveland Heights.
The Old Man in the Sea.
That is correct. Talk about frustration. What mythical king of Corinth was condemned to forever push? That's it. That's our final buzzer. We go straight to the scores. In third place this morning with 310 points, Our Lady of the Elms. In second place today with 380 points is the team from Wickliffe. And would you look at this? With 865 points, the winner of today's academic challenge, Cleveland Heights. Holy cow, what a game. Be sure to join us next time. We'll feature teams from Hillsdale, Manchester, and Midview. Thanks for being a part of this one. I'm Rob Powers. We'll see you right back here next week.